Hi guys, welcome. Oh, my glasses are so crooked. This is annoying. Okay, I should have done this, like recorded, edited, and had this video released at least a week ago. 2 weeks would have been preferred. Where's my pencil? But you know, I procrastinated, and then life got busy. So, where is my little Apple pencil? Where did it go? There, guys. Oh, it's on the floor. So, one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys for people that are starting college specifically, more specifically, this can work for high school too, I feel, but these are some tips and tricks that I want to share with you guys. A lot of these are very common. You will hear a lot of these being said, and it's all going to be very repetitive. But at the end of the day, it is for your success that you hear this over and over and over and over again because it is true. I am in my second year of college, and these are things that I did my first year, first semester that really really helped just get things going. So I will say I did make the mistake. I did make the mistake first semester. I was going to school full time. I was working a job full time and taking extra shifts. And then on top of that, I was working a part time job. I don't recommend that. You will get burnt out so unbelievably fast. So I really don't recommend that. If you have a job though, you do obviously have to schedule your work classes around, or if you have a job, you will have to schedule your classes around your work schedule. And I feel like at most colleges, that's not that hard to do. For university, I don't know. I'm talking community college because that's where I'm going. So I'm speaking from experience going from there. And I have been since probably high school anyway. So I've been taking a lot of classes on a college campus. But my first actual semester at college, these are some of the biggest tips and tricks that I learned to keep me going. I'm, this is also what I learned, what I knew, and it's just all around. I just want to help you guys be able to succeed and have the best school year and get the best grades. And I'll go into studying, taking notes later. We did a really big thing on that in one of my English classes in high school, and I think a lot of those tricks really help, and it might help you find what works best. And obviously, if these don't work for you, figure out what works best for you. And, we're going to be academic weapons this year, guys. We're going to be academic warriors. We are going to be getting those A's, B's at least. Technically, C's get degrees, but come on, guys, let's shoot for A's and B's. So the first one that I know a lot of people talk about is do not take 8 o'clock in the morning classes. And again, I know everybody talks about this, but it's like, oh, I used to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to my high school classes because you had to. You absolutely had to be there. College, I mean, like, yes, technically you do kind of have to be there, but it's like, it's easier to skip out on your college classes than it was to skip out on your high school classes. And again, this is talking from personal experience. There were so many times that I worked, that I would go to school, I'd go to work, I'd go to my other job, I'd work a double, and I'd go to school the next morning, and I'd do that for like, or I'd do it like over the weekend, and so it was time to get up for class, and I was like, I don't want to. And I didn't. And I missed so many classes. There was only one class I failed, and granted, it was math, which A, I'm not very good at math, but B, didn't do the homework. So obviously, I set myself up for failure, but otherwise, I got good grades. Like, I passed everything else, and I was taking 3 classes. So it was really just math that I didn't pass, but even so, we're not doing that. So I promise you, do not take 8 a.m. classes unless you absolutely have to. If you're a morning person, absolutely go for it. But otherwise, there's options. There's 8 in the morning, there's middle of the day. Like, my classes are until 11 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, Jesus. Because I'm like, because that way it gives me time to get up. It'll give me time to get ready. I'll have time to do my makeup, go to the gym, do videos, record stuff, like get some homework done, get some reading done if I didn't do it in time. Um, like I feel like it really just gives me more time. And there are also options for night classes. So you can take classes at night, and obviously there's the option for online classes. Sometimes some online classes will be fully online. You don't have to go to class. You don't have to go on campus. But also some of the time, there will be at least one class that you do have to go in person for. So, like I said, unless you're a morning person, unless you absolutely have to, I do not recommend 8 o'clock in the morning classes, especially because first time college students, you are usually fresh than adults. So you're coming out of summer, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be wanting to, you're not gonna want to go to class. Who knows what you're gonna be doing the night before, like I said, like fresh adult, like you're young adults, like you're barely there, you just turned 18 or you're barely 18, like you're getting a taste of the freedom that comes with being an adult. And unfortunately, that can and will affect your academics, so I really don't recommend 8 o'clock in the morning class. Um, the other thing, don't overload on classes. You think, oh, high school, I was taking 6, 7, possibly 8 classes. It was so easy. College classes they're like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. I wouldn't recommend it. And you don't know what the homework load is going to be. Um, so I really wouldn't recommend it. Take maybe like 2, 3 if you can. If you think you can, do 4. But anything other than that, I really wouldn't recommend it unless you know going into it you are an academic weapon and you can handle it. So that being said, the other thing that I did not write down that I meant to, check Rate My Professor. Look up the classes you want to take. Check Rate My Professor. I swear to you that will save your life. That will save your life. Because that is anonymous student reviews of said teacher that teaches that class, how they teach, how they grade, how their structure is, and I promise you it will save your life. There are so many classes. I was like, ooh, this sounds really good. Ooh, I want to take this class. Ooh, this is at the perfect time. And I looked at Rate My Professor. Most of them were bad. I was like, okay, never mind. Or there's a class I was like, I don't really want to take this class at this time, but the reviews for this teacher are really good. So maybe like we'll see. And then usually are the classes I end up taking. But Rate My Professor. I'm pretty confident any school, any teacher, doesn't matter. You can look them up and it tells you how they grade, what their class is like, if because some teachers do have really strong accents, and if it's going to be difficult for if it's a new topic that you've never learned before and you're worried that you're not going to be able to understand them, don't take the class. Don't stress yourself out more. If you absolutely have to, then make sure that you were putting in the extra work to get it done and you were asking questions to make sure that you understand what's going on. Um, yeah. For online classes, going back to that, make sure you're on top of the homework. Obviously, this is a given, but it's so much easier. It's out of sight, out of mind. You don't have to go to a class to it for it. You don't have to join a Zoom meeting for it. So you often forget about that. I did. I was taking all of my high school courses, plus I was taking an online class, and I forgot about all the homework. And I literally did every single piece of homework for the entire semester the night it was due. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Learn from my mistakes. Now, for getting books, you do not need to get a brand new freaking book. I mean, for the most part, the teachers will not recommend you get a brand new book. They will tell you to get a used one. They will 1,000% tell you to get a used one. They'll tell you to go to the bookstore. I've never gone to the bookstore. I went today. I spent almost $200 on a used book. I was like, are we freaking kidding me? I could have got this for like 30 bucks off of Amazon. The other really good one is Chegg. But when you go and you look them up on like a different website that's not your school's bookstore or like straight from the syllabus or whatever, like make sure it's the same edition, the same authors, and it fits all of it fits everything that the teacher's asking for. Because that will also screw you over if you don't have the right book for the class. Most campuses they have the option you can rent the book and you can return it at the end of the semester, I think. Um, Sometimes they'll have it in like their library area where you can check it out, go do homework, and then, return it. But if you want to keep the book and you want to take it home and you want to take notes on it, get a used one. Like seriously, get a used one. Even if there are already notes in it, that's not bad because who knows? You might learn something new. You might find something out different. So, Amazon or Chegg, Chegg. Trust me, get your books for cheaper. Do not be spending $600 to $1,000 on books, new or used, in that stupid bookstore. Because why are they so expensive? Why is it so expensive still? College kids are usually broke. A lot of them. Now that's not to say all of them, but you know, not everybody can afford brand new books or $200 books when they've got 4 or 5 classes. We're not doing that. Now, read the syllabus before class. Read through it, make sure you have everything, make sure you know what's going on, make sure you know what to expect before you go into class. Yes, the teacher will go over it, but it's better that you know it going into class. You can print it out, you can just pull it up, it's whatever you need. Um, And you know what? I'm grateful that I read my syllabus today because I had Spanish and it's like Spanish 2, I think. She walks in the class and the whole class was in Spanish. I said, huh? Oh, we're doing this right off the bat. Got it. I'm cooked. I was 5 minutes into class. I was like, holy shit, am I gonna have to drop this class? It was really bad. She did for my Spanish teacher. She did clarify things in English. Her presentation was in English. She was doing hand motions and like, you know, speaking slow, not necessarily slowly, but slower and enunciating everything, which was really nice. But I was like, holy crap, we're just jumping right into this. I've been taking a Spanish class, and I want to say like 2.5, 3 years now. So for that, I was like, oh, I'm cooked. So I will get into that part a little later. Um, oh, never mind. Just kidding. My notes are, I don't know where my notes are. So yeah, get your books as soon as possible too. As soon as you see what books you need, if you're not going to the bookstore and getting them and you're getting them off of Amazon or Chegg, get them as soon as you can because it's going to take a few days to get there. Some professors will tell you that you need to have read some of the material before you go into class, and some professors will tell you you have at least a week to get the book if you haven't already. And sometimes they'll tell you you need to read the material, and the majority of the class will be like, "Oh, I don't have the book." I'm like, "Start next week then. Get your book by whatever date, and we'll start next week." So there's that. Now, the other thing, I know that some of us, me included, don't worry, are a little shy, don't like talking to people, don't like doing new things. I hate starting new semesters because you're telling me I have to go to a new class, learn a new teacher's name, learn all these new students' names, and get to know them all over again. And I have to do that for the next 4 years, twice a year, at least, assuming I'm not taking summer classes. Yeah, I don't think so. But what I will say with that, don't be too shy. Like you I understand being shy, but also like don't be afraid to talk to people, and if people come talk to you, don't shut them down. You never know who's going to be like the smartest in the class. You never know who's going to be the best help. You never know what kind of friends you're going to make, what kind of people you're going to meet. So like wherever you sit, the people around you are probably going to be your little study group. Make a study group. I promise you, make a study group. For my Spanish class, I already have a group chat for that. Thank God I do because there's a lot of work for it. But I already have a group chat, so I already feel a lot better about how this semester is going to go because I know that if I need help and my teacher's busy, I can go to my group chat, my friends, and say, hey, do you guys know how to do this? Where can I find this? All those kinds of questions. So that's the other thing. Utilize office hours, the library, tutoring, whatever they offer as extra assistance. If you need it, you utilize it. You take advantage of that. Last semester, when I was taking a math class, I think I spent anywhere between like 4 to 8 hours in their math lab every single day. You know what? I passed the math class. I finally passed it. It was the same one that I had failed. I got my homework done. Well, mostly. I got questions answered. I got what I needed I got what I needed from that. And it was really helpful. So utilize whatever resources they give you as extra assistance. Usually they're no cost. I think it's like unless you're getting like a private tutor or something, but the group tutors that they have, absolutely, absolutely go for it. Utilize that. Even if you think like, I'm not really gonna need that, be prepared to need that. Be prepared to use it. And even like if you're not gonna use a tutor, using the library to use whatever like books or resources they have will be extremely helpful because that way you can go and you can say, okay, I have this much time to do my homework. This is what I need to get done, and you can just bust it out. Set a time limit for yourself. Say, okay, I have an hour to get this done. How much of this can I get done? And you'd be surprised at what you can do. It really is impressive. Like I know for me, like I don't like doing anything or like how do I word this? I don't Like I'll see all the homework I have to do, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take me forever. I don't want to do this right now. Like I'll do it later. But if I say, okay, I have 2 hours to get this done, I can get it done in 2 hours. Sometimes less. Sometimes it does take me more time, but at that point, like I'm already so like immersed in my homework that like nothing else really matters. And when I'm done, I'm done. It doesn't matter how long it takes me. You know what I mean? So just little things like that. So the other thing is don't stress about making plans or anything, like class-wise, and what you're going to do after class and, studying until you've gone to your first week. So go to your first week, figure out how it's going to go, figure out how it's going to look, your teachers, make sure the classes are going to fit, make sure they're going to suit you, make sure they're going to be good with your schedule, they're going to be they're going to be good for you. They're going to help push you towards what you want to do. And then after that, that's when you create a schedule. You say, okay, I have classes at these times. I have these extracurriculars at these times. If you have a job, I have a job at this time. I have to do this at this time. Okay, I know that in between this and this, like I have all this study time. And so, or even if you don't, like, I think Tuesday is the only day that I have two classes, but otherwise I'm quite literally only going to campus for one class. And so for that, I would say, okay, I have class from this time to this time. I'm gonna, either I'm gonna get there early and I'm gonna spend an hour doing homework, or I'm gonna stay like an hour after and we're just gonna see how much I can bust out. Things like that. Or I know I have work after school today, so I have to be home and be ready by this time. So, I have this much time in between the study, like things like that, just to make a little plan so that you get your homework done, so that you stay on top of it. That's the other big thing too. You need to be able to stay on top of your homework. If your classes are too much and you feel like, okay, I can't do this, like there's too much, I can't balance everything, find out what you can do. If it's drop a class, if it's not do some extracurriculars, like if it's cut your hours at work, like whatever it is that you need to do, you'll find that out within, I want to say, like the first 3 weeks to a month, and there'll be like specific drop schedules that you can do. Um, they won't affect your grade. Like it'll just drop you from the class. So make sure you know those dates, and make sure if you need to, you take full advantage of them and you just take the class next semester, and you think, and that way like, okay, I can't take this many classes, or I know this class is going to be really hard, so let me pair it with some easy ones. Just things like that. Um, don't procrastinate. Please, for the love of all things good, do not procrastinate. The longer you procrastinate, the more stress and pressure you are putting on yourself, and the more you are setting yourself up for failure. If you don't, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So find out what studying tips work best for you. However you take notes, however you study, however you learn the best, you figure that out if you haven't already, and just do it. Just do it for the full semester. If you need to change and say, hey, this doesn't work for me anymore, and you need to change it and do something different, absolutely do that. It's all about your academic success and what you can do to be an academic warrior. So, some of the things that I've done, you can put on music, a show, like a video in the background, just to have it as like background noise, and just like, you know, it sometimes it can't be too loud for me, but also it can't be like dead silent. There has to be something going on for me to focus. Um, so put on something you're not really interested in, something you've seen before, put it in a different language, and um, try that. See if that works. One of the fun things that I've found is you can look up YouTube videos of people that they'll like come check in on you type thing. Like they'll have a camera set up in the room, and every once in a while they'll come check in and be like, "You still doing your work? You still doing this?" Which I'm gonna try and see how well that works for me this semester when I'm studying at home, so that I get off my phone. Because holy screen time, let me just say, holy screen anger. So do not use your phone while you are studying. Some of the funny tricks that I've seen is lock yourself out of your phone for like an hour. You're gonna get so bored of not being on your phone that you're gonna lock in and do your homework. That's one of the things I've that's one of the things that I've heard. Might try that. The other option is put it in a different room. Turn on do not disturb. Do not have notifications on. Especially not if you have like very social and active friends. It doesn't matter if it's social media, it doesn't matter if it's texting, like whatever it is, unless like if it's an absolute emergency, then maybe they shouldn't be calling you, but hey, you never know. But it's like if you're really worried that's going to be an emergency, there is a way for certain people to override that do not disturb. Um, don't have notifications on, no phone, put put it away, turn it off. I don't know, but put it in a different room. Do not be on your phone, because otherwise you will sit there for the next 3 hours and say, "Oh shit, I was supposed to be doing my homework." we're locking in this semester. We're not gonna be we're lowering that screen time this semester. And go to bed early. Go to bed early. Don't forget to set your alarm. Get off your phone. Yeah. Uh, the other big thing, try not to be late to class, especially not on the first few days. Like if you absolutely have to be late, great. Try to warn your professor ahead of time. Like if you know, hey, I'm not going to be there on time for this reason, email your teacher, let them know. But otherwise, like things happen, obviously, But if it's something like you forgot to set your alarm or like you didn't plan for traffic, like that's kind of on you. Unless power went out or there's a car accident, like there are certain things that are within your control, and I think being there on time, especially for the first week, is really good. Because that way you won't miss anything, you'll get to sit where you want. Plus, it's really embarrassing just walking in late and being like, oh, where do I sit? Like, oh, great, the only options are in front of the class. I don't want to sit up here. It's like a public humiliation ritual, I swear. So try not to be late. It's not a good look. Teachers really aren't gonna look like that. Like you're gonna set up a bad look for yourself before this like 2 seconds into the semester. I promise you don't want that. Um, so with that being said, if you have the ability to, try to get there early, like a little bit early, so you can go find your classes on campus, especially if you have a big campus. If it's a small campus, that's up to you. But especially if you have a big campus, check the map, check the parking lot that you're parking in is close to your classes, and if you have time in between, switch parking lots. If not, hope and pray to God you don't have one class on this end and the other on that end within 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Or like five. But try to get there early. Make sure, find your classes. Make sure you know where everything is. Make sure you have your schedule. Um, ask for help. A lot of times, the first like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, they've got people on campus that specifically will sit all around and they'll have maps, they'll guide you to your classes, they'll ask you where your classes are, they'll ask you where everything is, and they'll show you where it is, they'll show you where it is on the map versus where you are. And it's really helpful. And I definitely recommend you utilize that as well. Um, but most importantly, just don't stress yourself out, don't burn yourself out. Try not to give yourself too much anxiety. Like I did not want to go to class this morning, and I don't want to go to class tomorrow, and I don't want to go to class the rest of this week because I really hate trying new things. I really hate like starting over in any aspect, and especially with like college classes, I don't like meeting new people. It gives me so much anxiety. But I promise you, people will come up and talk to you. It was really annoying. Not, well, hey, it worked in my favor, but the teacher was like, okay, get up, go introduce yourself to everybody in the class. Excuse me? Uh, sure. Sure. So I kind of just stood there and walked around like in my little back corner and waited for people to come talk to me. And now I'm already in a group chat. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to be shy. It's okay to be scared of new things, but try not to be too shy because then like nobody's gonna talk to you. And especially if the teachers don't do that, if like the people you're sitting with, yes, will definitely be your closest friends at some point in time during the semester. But also it's like the more people you can know, the better. Because that way, if you have different questions for different things, like I said, you can't get a hold of the teacher. Like it's 10 o'clock at night, you're doing your homework, you're like, crap, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to do this. You can say, hey, does anybody know how to do this? And they'll either say yes or no or whatever, or they'll guide you to somebody who does. So that's what I'm saying. Like the more people you know, the better. Just give it time though. Give it like a week or two. I'm really hoping that my other classes go this way. So one of my classes is online, so I haven't got to worry about that. But for my two other classes, I'm really hoping they go smoothly. I'm really hoping they're kind of the same way, where it's like people are like, hey, let's be in a group chat. Like, let's make a group chat now so that later in the semester we're not freaking out all by ourselves. So that's really all I have. I feel like a lot of these are all very common. A lot of people, like I said, it's very repetitive. People say these things over and over and over again, but it really is important to understand that you need to figure out what works best for you to set yourself up for success because like your college grades kind of do matter. If you fail a class, you have to retake it. Like If you don't get good grades and you don't have a good GPA, like that's gonna make it. I don't really know that your GPA matters, but like for graduating, you want to get it done as soon as possible without burning yourself out. So if you need to take one class, if there's one class that you just cannot seem to pass, you can't seem to grasp it, just take that class. Or take that class and pick a really easy class to go with it. But don't let your grades fall because you don't know what you're doing. Like there's so many different options. Some of the biggest things that I do is I'll look up YouTube videos. I'll ask my family to see if they know how to do it. I'll ask teachers, I'll ask tutors, I'll ask friends. Even friends who aren't going to college, be like, hey, do you guys know how to do this? Does this make any sense to you? Um, just reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and just remember that I want to say the majority of people there are in the same position as you. They're new. This is nervous for them. Not everybody. I'll give them that. And props to you. I'm impressed. Lucky. But almost everybody's in the same position as you where it's new, it's different, it's kind of scary, you know, but try not to be too stressed. Just don't burn yourself out and, talk to people. Make friends because it will benefit you down the road and it will benefit them. Because one of the biggest things that I've learned is if you can teach it to somebody else, you understand it. If you can teach the material to somebody else or help them understand it, that means you understand it enough. So there's that. Um, the next video that I want to focus on is specific studying tricks, like how to take notes, flashcards, um, things like that. Things like that I've learned that have really helped that I want to share with you guys to set you guys up for as much success as possible. And like I said, everybody learns differently, so understand that. At this point in time, like your teachers should know that everybody learns differently. So you'll be good. You'll be fine. We're gonna be, like I said, we're gonna be academic warriors this semester. We got this. We've got this. So thank you all for watching. I hope this helped. Let me know if there's something specific in the comments that I didn't go over or something that you learned that you want to share with other people, and any study note taking skills that you want me to talk about, include, or any questions that you may have, and I will do my best to answer them and get back to you guys. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you